Good morning, 6AMERS. The 6AMERS began in April 2020 in the heart of the pandemic. Forming this podcast is our way of extending the community and the message of the community into the world. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 6AMERS podcast. My name is Skye Michaels. I'm your host, and I'm joined here by my wonderful co-host, Emily Bossert. Today's interview is someone that we both know extremely well. And I know I personally, I think Emily, you do as well. We look up to as a mentor and a leader and someone I've learned so much from in the time that I've been working with her. So we are going to be interviewing Danielle Wilkie, who is the president of the Customer Success Division here at Compass. And Emily, I know you've known Danielle probably a lot longer than I have. So what are some of the things that you've learned from Danielle over the years of knowing her?
She's incredible. So she's one of those people that I really hold near and dear to my heart. She started out at Compass as our regional president in Colorado and taught me a lot. And one of those things that she taught me that sticks with me is being able to see the forest through the trees. You know, we all get into these situations where we're in the weeds. We can't see past the weeds or the tree in front of us, but she's able to take you outside to back up and look big picture at the forest and then move forward from there. Do you find that as well?
Oh my God. I mean, working with her at Customer Success here at Compass, we always are surrounded by so many initiatives and messages. And, you know, we sort of operate in this world where we're working with everyone all across the board. So at any one time, there's a huge forest surrounding us, and being able to see your greatest priorities is one of the most important things to being successful in business and in life.
Yes.
In the interview, the thing I connected with was her commitment to family time. I personally have struggled with this, and I think everyone that runs a business that's listening to this, you probably have at some point struggled with that balance of family and business. And when she said that when she gets home and she does dinner with her family and puts that phone aside, that's family time. And then they take a walk, no phones, no technology, just them. It really inspired me to make sure that I was doing the same thing with my family. The other thing that she mentioned, which is I actually have incorporated this into almost a daily practice, is practicing giving yourself grace. We operate in this world where we beat ourselves up about the things we don't do. I didn't get to work out. I didn't meditate. I didn't practice yoga. I didn't fill in the blank. And the reality is we need to give ourselves grace every single day. So Emily, I'm going to actually challenge every single person listening to this right now to think of one thing that you can give yourself grace for. And it's okay if you didn't get to it. Think of all the things you did get to. And that's an example that I try to bring forward in my life every day.
Well said, Skye. I'm super excited for all of us to give ourselves grace starting now.
All right, Elvin. Well, welcome to this episode, and I hope you enjoy.
Well, it's so great to be with everyone this morning. The energy in this room is always like the best. I'm definitely 6AMering it this morning. Like I literally just finished my workout. So I'm in like the full uniform for this group. I've been at Compass for just over 2 years. I joined in July of 2019. And I started with Compass as leading our Colorado market. So I helped launch our Colorado market with the incredible Emily Bossert and some of the incredible agents on this call this morning. And I've had the good fortune of knowing and working with them and learning from them along the way. And then I got involved in Texas during COVID. So got more involved in Texas. And then just under a year ago, I was asked to help oversee all of Central. And Central is growing at Compass at a very rapid rate. So that includes Colorado, Texas, Illinois, and then all these amazing Midwestern markets that we are welcoming to our family with Missouri and Minneapolis and Milwaukee and Indianapolis. Compass just continues to grow. So that's what I do at Compass. And prior to Compass, I'm a tech startup person, and I've been doing that in Denver for the last 20 years. So I'm based out of Denver.
Incredible. Well, and Emily and everyone, I apologize. It's like one of those mornings where you're like, you're watching the GPS. You're like, come on, clear up. And then you get to your parking garage and it's like 10 cars deep. You're like, just get me to there. And I heard a little bit of the story of Colorado. Then now you're Central. Am I saying it right? Central
Right.
Region president.
Yep.
What's the most exciting about the Central region that we should know about?
Well, Definitely all the expansion that's been going on down there. Like I think we launched 6 markets in 6 weeks. I mean, it was just insane. All of the incredible new people that we brought into the family. Like, it's just really, it gives me goosebumps. And they are so excited. And that newness, that excitement, that energy, I think is just so great for everybody. So that's probably one of the most exciting things that's going on there right now, for sure. Yeah.
So cool. What are the markets that we launched?
St. Louis.
City. Okay.
Kansas City, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, and did I say Indianapolis? I can't remember. Anyway, I can't keep them all straight. But anyway, they're all there, and they are so thrilled to be part of this. And one of the things I was so excited when Robert said, "Hey, we could really use someone to lead this central group. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Heck yes!" Like, the coasts get a lot of attention, because there's so many amazing folks and so much great business that happens on the coast. But the central part of the U.S. is really important to all of this too. So it's been wonderful to be part of that and bring those voices to life.
Incredible. Danielle, when you launch a market, now you have a lot of experience launching markets now. What's the biggest hurdle you have to overcome?
Well, you're starting a culture from scratch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about when 6AMERS started.
Yeah.
Right? Like it took a while to find the way. It's like, what is this group really going to be about? How is it real? How are we all really going to show up every day? Is this really going to bring value to me? Like, you really had to find your way. And then once you found that rhythm, it was so deep and so strong. And I think that's probably true for new markets too.
Yeah. What is is there a purposeful tactic, or is this sort of organic, or how are you guys driving culture in these new markets?
Well, bringing the right agents in is the number one way to do it. Y'all are the best. You bring great energy. The best of the best are amazing at their businesses. They're givers. They want to be part of something bigger. And so I think bringing the right folks in early is really the key to the whole thing.
So obviously your role changed, Colorado, it's one region. Now you're in charge of all these regions. And what is the biggest challenge you're experiencing in that move that you're saying?
I bet it's the same kind of challenge that you all experience in your businesses. So hang on and listen to that for a second. It's basically creating systems to be able to handle the growth and the scale, right? Everyone on this call is constantly thinking about how do I do more with less, right? I got to scale across more. I got to, maybe I have a new assistant. Maybe I've got, 5 new listings that I wasn't anticipating. How do I scale myself across this? And I think that I think about that in the same way that I think about our different markets and our business.
Yeah. What are you doing personally then to scale? Because you went from being responsible for, 1,000 people or so to now 500. Just guessing numbers. I don't know.
Yeah. I do a lot here. Emily will smile because she knows I'm super invested in this area. Personal development is one of the most important areas for me. Well, first of all, I take really, really good care of myself. I was actually just listening to something this morning talking about self-compassion on my workout. And they were saying, the most driven folks, all of you on this call who are waking up at, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning are, you are so driven. And you tend to be the folks who have the least self-compassion, right? You're harder on yourself. I bet all the people in your world, you're if they mess up, they screw up, you're it's okay. I don't judge you for that. You just pick yourself up, you keep on going. And then you make the same mistake and you're I am such an idiot. How could I have done that? So I think that high achievers especially need to focus on self-compassion and really being okay with not always being perfect. Progress over perfection, Emily, for sure. And so that's something I invest a lot in. Work out every day. Maintain a very, very clear schedule. Make sure I get outside every day. Make sure that I hug and kiss and tell everybody in my life that I love them every day. If I'm next to them, I make sure I do that. I run a really rigid schedule. I know that sounds kind of annoying, but you just got to do it. I block off the time. I know when I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm very cautious about that. And I'm really thoughtful about who I'm giving work to. Because all of you, you cannot do it yourselves. You just can't do it all yourselves, even though you all want to. So who are you going to ask for help from? Who are you going to delegate to? And how are you going to hold them responsible is key to the scale part for sure.
I love that. I think one of the big challenges we have as realtors is like letting go of control, right?
Totally.
Same thing with you.
Yeah.
Like, coach us right now. Like, how do you let go of control or something that you do love to do, but you know you shouldn't do? Like for me, it was buyers. Like as I was scaling my team, I knew I loved buyers. I still love. I would do anything right now to go out and help a first-time home buyer. Like I just love it. But I know that's not what I needed to let go of, right? So how do you figure out what to let go of, and how do you actually execute on that?
Well, the buyer example is a tough one because generally the way I think about it is, what am I really, really good at that nobody else is good at? Or that very few other people are good at. Like this is in a room of my peers and I look around, I'm like, oh, this is the one thing that I do better than the rest of them. Yeah. That's what I hold on to. And then I really think about, and actually I did this awesome time diary thing that maybe some of you have done or would be interested in, but I basically kept track of all of my work for a week. And then I went back and next to all of those things that I did, I basically did an arrow. It was like up if it was great energy and I got a lot out of it. It was like to the side if it was like, I could do it, but I didn't love it. And down if I was like, no energy, no goodness came out of this. It was not good for anybody. And then I reviewed all my down arrows and I was like, hey, that's the stuff that somebody else is really good at and they love. And so how do I find those people and then move the down arrows off my plate onto theirs?
I love that example. It's a great technique for sure. So Danielle, what is the one thing you sit in a room, look around, like what's the one thing you do better than anyone else in your opinion? You can brag.
I'm always embarrassed to say it out loud, Skye. I can't believe you put me on the spot like that. I feel like that's something that, I don't know where that comes from, but it's hard to own your power sometimes, it feels a little uncomfortable. I think the thing that I do better than anyone else is I see the forest for the trees.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really good at seeing lots of different things all happening and then being like, this is how it all fits together. This is what we should focus on. This is how we should think about it. So that's sort of what I enjoy doing.
Can I add to that? Because Danielle, that is 100% accurate. Whenever we have any leadership meetings, whenever I have a one-on-one with Danielle, all of us in the meetings will be up here in the clouds, like talking and just ideas. And Danielle all of a sudden goes, here's what we're talking about. Here's what we need to focus on. And it is incredible.
Incredible.
Thanks, Emily. That's so kind.
Yeah. So cool. But Danielle, let's think a little bit like why as human beings, and I don't want to say, I think actually this may come out wrong. I'm trying to make sure this doesn't come out wrong, but even I think as business women, right? Why do we not acknowledge our power? Or why does it feel weird to say, I am great at this and I own it, right? Like, what is that?
It's a great question. I would love to hear Emily answer it too. For me, I like to be in support of others. Like when I feel great is when someone else is shining. Like I like to kind of be the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes. And so it makes me very uncomfortable to think that I am shining that way. It just is uncomfortable. Something I got to work on, I guess, Skye.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I view you as this that's this person that would never have those thoughts, right? Like you're an amazing leader, someone I look up to. And then it was awesome hearing you be vulnerable right there. And I think if people can take something from that we do need to dig into like owning our power. And I'm loving the chat, by the way, Danielle.
Oh my God, I'm watching this.
I know.
This is amazing.
Awesome.
I want to know all these people personally.
So, let's maybe shift it a little bit. What does Compass do better than any other real estate company or tech company?
Without a doubt, 100%, it is be in service of our customers. I have worked for so many tech companies who have paid lip service to like, it's the customer, that I have never been part of a company that actually does it. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's crazy. I mean, I've in every meeting I'm in, it's like, what does the customer think? Is this good for our customers? Will brokers like this? Will agents like this? Is this going to be good for them? How does this help their business? Like every meeting I'm in, that's the dialogue. And it does give me chills because it feels so good to be in such good service. That's what I love.
Yeah, that's incredible. What does Compass need to do? What do we need to do as a company to get better? Right? What's our Achilles heel, or what's the thing that is like sort of holding us back from continuing?
Well, the first thing I want to say is when I say customer, everyone, I mean you. Just to clarify, at Compass, when we say customer, we mean the agent. We mean, the broker. Like that's like, we're talking about you, the real estate agent. What I love about it is that we're a business that talks about it, right? Like no one's like putting on the rug, being like, no, don't look over there. Everyone's like, no, shine a light on that thing that we have to do. So there's a lot that we need to do. The thing that I'm thinking about a lot right now is that I think we need to do a better job of helping our agents, our customers, really figure out how to make the tech work for them in better ways. And the reason I care a lot about this, sometimes I have customers who say to me, Danielle, you're always talking about the tech. Why are you talking about the tech? Who cares? I run my business without the tech. I don't need the tech. And I'm like, you're right. You do run your business and you are very successful. And it is so impressive. But could you imagine, as we talk about like the down arrows, and we talk about like things that you delegate and how could you do things differently, I'm always thinking about how could you make the software, the technology work more for you and get you out of some of those things that you don't have time to do. And the reason I care so much about this is because before I came to Compass, I was in many, many industries where technology was completely changing the way people did business. So I have seen this happen many, many times outside of real estate. And I know it is coming for real estate. Like there's no escaping it, right? Like it is coming for this world. And for those of you who decide and figure out, how do I get in there? How do I make it work? How do I do it better? It will be it'll change things for you. It really will. And it feels uncomfortable. But I think Compass needs to do a much better job of helping you all do that. Because who likes to change and who likes to deal with things that maybe aren't exactly the way you want it, right? Like, so how do we continue to support you all on this journey? I think we've got a lot of work to do there.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like, that's one of the reasons I think where this group has gone, right? Like now we're trying to, if we just give everyone 5 minutes at the end of the call, like we gotta like just light sparks. Like everyone on this call is like amazing at doing what they do, and they're driven individuals and they're motivated. They want to get better. And all we need to do is give them the spark that then they can go and run. And I think that's where, I don't know if you know, Danielle, we're doing a tool of the month now. So
nice.
The tool is action plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So what have you learned? And on that note too, because I know you didn't come from a real estate background per se, right? That
nope.
wasn't in your corporate background. What is it you learned about realtors and maybe real estate agents in general that you just you wake up in the morning like, I can't wait to get in front of these people?
So what I have spent my life doing is working with entrepreneurs, all startups, right? So like driven, crazy, run your business. One day the world is amazing. The next day the world's falling apart. Like I know all about that. And when I stepped into Compass and got to know agents, I was like, you're my people. Like I know all about this. And so the thing that motivates me most is working with agents who are just like that, who are putting it all, leaving it on the field every day. There's so much unknown. There's so much excitement. There's just a lot of emotion and energy coming with running your own business. And I love being part of that.
What were some of the startups you worked with again? I know
I worked in property management in like the late 1990s. Now I'm going to tell you how old I am, and the early 2000s. And that was like helping renters. I was kind of around real estate, interestingly. I was with Service Magic before it became Home Advisor, before it became Angie, I think is the new name of it. Yeah. I was part of the team that sold that to IAC. I was in insurance, so I was kind of around this area too. Stock footage licensing. Who knew that was a thing? But there you go. And the last one was the one that I really had a lot of fun with, which was online craft education. So like knitters, quilters, cake decorators. We did education online for those folks and sold them all the things they needed to do it. So it's a varied past, but always, again, see technology totally changing the way that people were doing business. And so
Yeah.
That's the theme for me.
That's awesome. What's coming down the road for the agents that we don't maybe know about, we've heard, right? That you've seen like presentations on or something like that you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to be in front of these guys. Like, what's the piece coming?
Well, there's one near term and then there's one further out, right? So the near term one is the video. Have you guys seen the video in the email? Oh gosh, like nothing drove me more crazy than one of our agents coming to me and being like, I have to use BombBomb for my email. I was like, like we need to solve this. Yeah. And so we did. So that's coming out. If you guys haven't seen it, that's like really exciting. And we should all be using video. I mean, look how powerful video is just in this experience right now, right? So I think that is huge and really important. And then longer term, I'm just going to talk about the thing that like hits everybody's nerve just because I have to just say it and it drives me crazy. The transactions, like the management of transactions of this company and like the documents and the signatures and the transactions, like it is bananas that still hasn't been like zipped up at this company. So I have seen what's coming. They've done some beta testing in Florida around some of this. So like this is coming for us in a meaningful way. And I just want that to take headaches away for people. Like I just want that to go away so that we can focus on the good things. So that's what's coming for us.
I know. And I think I heard September 22nd, I believe, is the national launch of the video messenger. And we had a little demo from one of our 6AMERS on it. So I can't wait for it to be live for everyone. And imagine instead of sending on a birthday like email, a birthday video, like how much more powerful is that comparatively, right?
Totally.
So much better. So
it's going to be amazing.
So cool. Danielle, talk a little bit because you have 2 kids, or talk a little bit about your family life, right? 2 kids. How old are they?
8 and 10, 2 boys.
Awesome. How do you balance your working mom, successful, driven leader, et cetera? And you got 2 kids, 8 and 10. Like, and I have a 11 and a 9-year-old now. Soon to be 12. So like it's like crazy. Like this morning was insane, and I got 2 drop-offs. Right? It's like, anyways. How do you balance it as a working mom?
There's a lot of research that's been done because I think there's a lot of mom guilt in the world, and I'm sure there's a lot of dad guilt too. But there's been a lot of research that has been done around that it's the quality of the time that you're spending with your children, not the quantity. And that's something that I really try and remember when I'm feeling bad about something. So for example, no matter what, every night I put my kids to bed if I'm home, right? And I read to them and I tell them how much I love them and I spend time with them, like 10, 15 minutes. In the morning, I have breakfast with my kids and we start our day together. And then on the weekends, I do everything I can to be with them. But in addition to that, I married a really good partner, and that's my secret weapon. Honestly, he is everything. And he supports me and our family in a way that allows me to do what I do. And I feel so grateful.
I hope we can share that snippet with your husband. I bet he would love to hear that.
That's especially this morning when he's like, "You're doing what from 7 to 7:45? Kids ready for school?"
You're like, "Hey, by the way, I got to join the 6AMERS. Like, I have to do it every morning now. The school's on you." I think you said something really powerful there too that applies to all areas of life, but definitely family or definitely real estate. Is I think we overemphasize big chunks of time as opposed to really hyper focusing on small chunks, right? Like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of laying in bed at night is way more powerful than like, we got to go see a Phillies game tonight, or, oh my God, like, that's all kids want. And honestly, even in business, that's all people need to do is spend 5 minutes on a tool, not an hour on their tool. No, just 5 minutes, right? And that's, I think, the huge thing. So that's awesome.
I think also just very quickly, just when your kids know you're present with them, if you're with them, like you said, Danielle, it's quality time, because if you're with them a lot of the time, but you're not present with them, they feel that. But if you can actually, like you said, put them to bed, read them that book, take 10 minutes and be fully present, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really powerful. So, and I think too with entrepreneurs, like with real estate entrepreneurs, most, the majority of realtors are women. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's definitely an industry dominated by moms. And, everything you got, there's so amazing balancing everything. And yes, dads too, for sure. But, I think there's something that's different with moms, but that's just me. What are some other like little quick parenting tips? You obviously have a great partner, and that's awesome. But beyond that, like, what are some quick working parenting tips you could provide to us?
The biggest one I'm working on, I don't know what I'm doing, people. I mean, come on. I think probably the most important one that I've been working on is making sure my kids are doing for themselves. Because I think when I get real busy, my instinct is to be like, I'll make your lunch. We got to go. I will take care of the laundry because I'm busy. I got to go. But that is not helping them. And it is most certainly not helping me. And so the one I'm working on right now is helping them do more for themselves.
Yeah.
That's like one that I'm working on because they need to do for themselves. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so powerful. And it's so funny because it's so easy to just, when you're busy, I'll just do it. Right. Instead of being like, and there's almost more work to like, no, you have to do this. You got it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's the other one. And I think I've seen people in the chat talking about this is like no phone. I am really careful. Now, I know you all live lives where like you have to be with your phone, right? There's just part of like what we all do to some degree, but we have some very specific device free times that we're clear about, like during dinner, no phones, no electronics, no TV, right? When I'm with them in the evenings, none. When we're eating breakfast, none. If I'm at, an event for them and I know they're paying attention, I'm paying attention, like that feels better, right? Than me being at the event and then being on the phone the whole time. That doesn't feel good to them. It's like a waste for everybody. So, we just try and pick and choose those times for no phone.
Awesome. I love it. And I mean, I think that, with this device is like, it's such a good thing and a bad thing all wrapped up in one. Wrapped up in one. It's so funny. So it's
one thing that one more thing really fast that we started during COVID and we've kept going as a family. I don't know for any of you is we've been taking walks after dinner as a family every night. And it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The dog's got to get out anyway. And we go for a walk and everyone loves it. It's been the weirdest thing. Like I thought everyone was going to hate it and everyone loves it. So that's what we've been doing too.
Yeah. And once again, you come back to the 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, 15 minutes. That's not a big deal. Boom. It's like connection and all right, back to homework, iPads or whatever you need to do. That's really, really cool. That's awesome. What's one of the more challenging things maybe you've ever gone through professionally? Let's maybe dig into like some of your, like because I think some of our challenges makes us who we are, right? What's like one of the more challenging things you've gone through on a professional level?
In my last job, I had like a total burnout moment, like really bad burnout moment. And it really changed the way that I operate. Because I think there's a point, especially when you're younger in your career, you can like work through anything. You're like, I can just work my way out of every single thing that comes my way. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, wait a minute, I'm working like 80 hours a week. I'm like really unhappy. I like don't see anybody I love. And I'm like miserable. What is happening here? And it was like an intervention, it was like the people who love me most were like, like, we're not going to let you do this. And so it was, I had like a little intervention and that's when things really started to change for me. So, I think it's just like paying really close attention when you're hitting the bottom and then like how to keep yourself out of there.
Yeah, that's great. And the burnout, that's such a real estate thing for sure.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It has been a crazy year and a half for everyone. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And the one guarantee though is things will change.
Yes. And you're going to get something out of it. Like when you hit bottom, then something has to give and then you can adjust. So it's like you're constantly like tweaking, making yourself better. Like you're like, oh, bad, change, oh, change. And then pretty soon you come out and you're like, this is a way better way to operate, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was kind of flashed up through the chat, but a lot of people, I know I was burned out and then I came to Compass, and it's like, it just reinvigorated me here. And I think for most of us, like learning, education, training, like not doing the same thing over and over and over, but now we got all these new things, and they're constantly changing as well, right? And it's exciting and overwhelming all at the same time, for sure. Right. Yeah. What as we go into the back half of this year, what should agents be focused on in your opinion? Because I think this market's going to change pretty quickly. I think as quick as it went like this, I don't know. And it's going to be all different in all of our markets. Like every market is going to be different, but there's a piece of it that feels it's going to change real fast. Not in a bad way, but just the activity level is not going to be what
the vibration is going to come down a little bit. Like people are going to be able to breathe, right? It's not like some awful moment, but it's going to be like breathing time, right? I think what y'all should be focused on this fall is one, taking a breath, like, because you all really deserve it. So I would figure out like, how are you going to work into some self-care? Because you all have been through the ringer. It's been a really rough year and a half. So whether that's like a weekend away with your best friend, or it is, quiet time by yourself, just something to recharge yourselves. If you haven't done it, you should do it. And then I would come back and I would think, wow, it feels like all of a sudden I have all this time. It's like probably raising kids, right? Or, you raise kids, you're like, their life is so full. They leave for college. Like, what do I do with all this time? Right? Like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I would take that time that you've gotten back, that lower vibration time, and I would spend it all on systems and getting ready for that's it. Like I would spend the back half of this year on like finally getting my CRM in order and like getting those tags done. I would be focused on outreach to customers, in just that like really earnest, honest, like relational way. I would be focused on like, what is my plan for 2022? We're already talking about 2022 as a business. You should be too, right? Like I'm literally working right now on forecast and budget and all of our goals for 2022. And we started in July. So I would be thinking about like, what's 2022 bringing? Where am I going to be spending my time? How do I get my house in order and get ready for it? And I would take a breath. That's what I would do. I
love that. And the focus on breathing. Luckily, we have Emily in our life.
Thank goodness for Emily.
And then I think also that focus on systems, right? It's like, all right, if we can build the better system, the better process, then when it does get crazy, we can process that a lot better.
Right.
Avoid the burnout, for sure. Especially with everything, there's so much being added to the platform right now. Changing. I mean, I was doing a training yesterday, and I must have been added to the beta on the video because I'm like, on video generator, I'm like, wait, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's it? In the middle of the training, like I'm literally learning the platform. Yeah. So it's very cool, in my opinion, to sort of feel that energy coming up and everything. So awesome.
Well, I always love to ask Danielle questions about her relationship.
Great, Em.
Well, I feel like I can learn a lot from you. You and your husband, you two put in the work. Yeah. So what are some of the things that over the years, because as we know, relationships change, especially after you have kids. What are some of the things that you two make sure on a weekly basis you commit to with one another? Well,
the number one thing, it's actually daily. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be different for everybody because it's like, what does your partner need? Right? Like I'm the kind of person who's like literally could go all week without even talking to my partner. Like that's who I am. Because I'm like, I'm busy. He calls it the black hole. Like I go into like the work black hole. And he's like, I can't even like connect with you between like 8 a.m. Monday and 6 p.m. Friday. Like, what is the deal? But what I'm working on and what works well for us is he needs me to acknowledge him every morning. Mm-hmm. And like, look at him and tell him I love him and like, hope he has a great day. And just that like moment of connection makes all the difference in the world. And if I forget it, like this morning when I was racing to get up here on this call, he was like, you need to say good morning to me. I was like, okay. Good morning. I love you. Have a great day. And then I came upstairs, but that's all it took. Right. And so I think just acknowledging each other every day before I go to the black hole has been like secret sauce for us.
I love that. It's the simple moments. And if you do those consistently, it's amazing how, and I'm the same way. Like if my husband comes in and says good morning and just takes like 30 seconds, it changes everything.
Totally. It's amazing. It's so powerful. Gosh. So, and it feels so easy, but it's hard. Like if you don't do that normally, it's actually hard. That sounds so awful, but it is, I just get focused. So he keeps me honest and we stay connected.
Very cool.
I love that. Well, shall we go to that? Because I don't think we've done the Rapid 6 at 6 with Danielle yet.
It's a new feature. We're changing.
All right. Rapid 6 at 6.
Okay.
Let's make it happen.
Yep. So Danielle, I ask you 6 questions, rapid fire. You answer them in any way you feel is the right answer. So the first question for you, Danielle, is how would you describe your most perfect day?
Wake up, go for a walk, meditate for like long period of time, like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Then have breakfast with my family. Then probably go for like a hike with a friend. I'd love to get a massage in there if at all possible. And then I would come home and I would make a really, really nice dinner for a group of people I love with maybe a bottle of wine that I love. And then I would go to bed. That would be my perfect day.
That sounds lovely. Okay, if you could time travel either into the past or into the future, when and where would you go?
Whoa, this is not a quick question. How did this make the quick 6 at 6? Wow, where would I? I'm not a past person. Mm-hmm. I'm always like thinking what's next. Like I like to be forward thinking. So I would probably go somewhere in the future. And I think I'd probably love to travel into the future when my kids are in their 20s. Oh. And I'd love to see like what happens to them,
Totally.
How does that, what's going to become of them? That'd be fun.
Exactly. Okay. What is one thing that you would love to master?
More patience.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, I agree with that one for myself. What is a book or a movie that you go back to time and time again?
The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership.
Oh,
I think I've read it 1,000 times. It's my most favorite book. I think it is the most powerful leadership book I've ever read. I'm a huge fan.
Danielle, that is one of my favorite books because of you. I love it so very much. I think if you're on a team, if you're a leader of any sorts, even a parent, read that book. It's incredible. Danielle, who was your first celebrity childhood crush?
Probably Michael Jackson.
Me too.
Weird. I've never thought about it, but that's who it is. I think.
Remember the cover of the record when he was like with the white tiger?
Yes.
Very sexy.
He was everything.
Okay. Last question. What is the first thing you're going to do after you get off this call?
Go take a shower. Also probably be very grateful. I'm the first thing that's going to happen after I hang up is I just want you all to know I'm going to think to myself, that was like the best 45 minutes I could have spent in my day. And I feel so lucky to be part of this. So that's the first thing. And then I'm going to get in the shower. So thanks so much for having me. I love this group so much. Skye and Emily, you've created something so very special, and you all being a part of this makes it amazing. I've never experienced anything like this in my work professional career. So thank you.
Aww.
Thank you. Well, people like you make it what it is too. And obviously all the, we're up to, 200 some people at one point, on this call. You guys all make it special. And I think it's an embodiment of energy. Danielle, truly grateful for you and, for your leadership. And, once again, we say it all the time, and process over perfection. My morning, started a little hectic, but I'm on a high right now. So I can't wait to go into the day.
Thanks for listening to the 6AMERS podcast. If you liked what you heard on this episode, we would love to hear from you. So leave a comment and review, and don't forget to subscribe. For more information on our 6AMERS community, guests, book recommendations, and more, visit our website at the6amers.com, the6amers.com. We also invite you to follow us on Instagram for a daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and fun. See you next time.